All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. What to do when your wife seems distant. So, a lot of guys complain about this, and I've definitely felt this and just felt it recently and made some mistakes that I want you guys to learn from. My name is Mike Frazier, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and marriage coach. I help high achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages. So, some guys from wins my program, the Strong Men, Strong Marriages program. Guys are having increased physical affection, hugs, kisses, sex, enjoying that good physical connection that makes marriage special. Super fun to see. Guys are having deep, meaningful conversations, feeling connected again, having fun with their wives. Super fun. Guys are feeling more empowered, which I love. A lot of times when you feel trapped or stuck in your marriage, you feel like you don't have any power, you don't have any choice, but you do. And, guys that come and join the program, just even joining the program is a step of empowerment, right? Choosing to do something productive. Guys are having more fun with their kids, enjoying those connections and conversations, and yeah, super fun to see. Guys are having the difficult conversations with their wives about money, sex, parenting, getting to win-wins, enjoying those conversations. For me this week, it was seeing this negative pattern that has been a pattern kind of throughout our marriage, and really starting to make some changes, learn a new approach around it. So I want to share that with you guys today. So about the past couple weeks or so, Elizabeth felt a little distant from me. So it's happened on and off throughout our marriage. I think it's pretty normal for that to happen. Often this happens when she's struggling with different things. And early on, it was dealing with pretty significant trauma that she went through. More recently, it's just if she's feeling overwhelmed with stuff with kids or with friends or with health, kind of what you'd consider quote unquote normal life stuff. Not as intense as it used to be, which I'm grateful for. But what I tend to do when this happens is I make it about me. So I notice that she's disconnecting. She doesn't seem quite as interested in my days. She doesn't seem to be asking me as many questions. Okay. And so I start, the story I tell myself is I'm not a priority to her. Okay. Everything else is a priority. I'm not. Yeah, she's busy, but she doesn't care about me. Right. She'll spend time with the kids, but she won't spend time with me. She's happy to see the kids, but she's not happy to see me. She doesn't really care about me or my days. She's against me. Even going that far, like, well, she's against me. She doesn't, I'm just a paycheck, right? All of that. I can start telling myself those stories when she seems like she is distant. When I say distant, it's just kind of like, yeah, I try to have a conversation. She doesn't seem as interested. She doesn't start conversations with me as much, that kind of thing. But as as in therapy, telling my therapist about this, and Elizabeth told me the same thing. Like, why are you making it all about you? Maybe it's not about you. And I find myself telling my guys this same thing a lot, where we can very easily make our wife's behaviors about us when maybe they have nothing to do with us, right? So I was doing that this week for sure. So usually what my pattern is to come to her and tell her she's not prioritizing me. She needs to do more, right? She needs to do more for me. She's not doing enough. Okay, she needs to talk to me more. She needs to engage more with me. She needs to have sex more with me. She needs to make meals, right? Make me feel important. And so, again, usually this is my pattern. I'll come and do this when she's already feeling kind of overwhelmed and not very good. And usually she'll tell me that, hey, you usually do this when I'm not feeling very good. So, it's kind of like, I've been doing this fight training, which I'm loving. Would definitely recommend it if it calls your attention at all. It's been super fun for me. But yeah, like when you're fighting, what my trainer tells me is there's a certain distance you want to be at. Okay, you want to be kind of like just within your range and just out of the other person's range. If you're like a taller person or have a longer reach, so you can either there's a distance between the two of you, right? Trying to have distance control in fighting. So, when I feel distant from my wife, like if we're in a fight, if she's kind of far away, I have a couple options. Like you can create more distance yourself, which sometimes I do that, or you can close the distance. But the way I've been closing it is like with a jab, with just like a punch, like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? And so what happens? Okay, if I close it like that, okay, I'm feeling distant. Okay, I'm going to come in, but I'm going to come in with a jab. Bang, right? Right to the nose. Okay. Well, you should be doing this. Bang. You should be doing that. Bang, right? Like her response is going to be to feel hurt, right? And to create more distance, right? She doesn't want to be getting punched. She's going to create more distance if she feels a little bit distant already. But that's how I've been coming in, right? I've been coming in like with that bang, bang. So yeah, of course she wants to create more distance, right? To use another analogy, it's like she's feeling overburdened already. And this is for my particular marriage, and I think probably this happens with a lot of wives too. She kind of prioritizes other things, or seems to, right? She just is feeling overwhelmed, right? She needs help. But instead of me, like, I'm just kind of picturing her carrying like 500 bricks on her back, right? And then instead of coming and saying, hey, like, wow, you seem really overburdened. Can I help? I'm coming in like throwing more bricks on her, saying like, well, hey, you need to carry this too, right? So if I'm coming at her like this, of course, like it's natural. It's natural for her to create distance. Okay. So that's what I was able to see, and like felt like God was helping me see that this week. Of yeah, man, like you're closing that distance, but you are bang, like right to the face, so yeah, she's gonna want to create more distance. So you're like coming in like tossing another 500 pounds on her to carry. Doesn't make sense. Okay. So what can we do instead? So if it's seeming like she's more distant, come in as a support. Okay. So in a fighting analogy, right, there's ways to close distance. You can close it with a jab, right? You can step in, or you can come in and just like kind of wrap the other person up, which is like a hug, sort of. You wouldn't call it a hug in a fight, but you'd call it like wrapping the person up. But so they can't like hit you back. But in this case, right, close it in with the support, right? Instead of a snap a jab to her face, like come in and give her a hug, right? And even a literal hug can help a person reset their nervous system. Just like, hey, you seem overwhelmed. Can I give you a hug? Would that be helpful? Can I be here for you and just help you kind of relax, let you know I'm here for you? If I come in like that, guess what? Now, instead of being another burden to her or a pain, right? Now I'm someone that is a support, right? So yeah, I'm feeling distance. Okay, instead of me signaling that to my brain, she doesn't care about you, right? You better go tell her to do something to care about you. I'm going to signal it to myself, hey, she's probably struggling right now and maybe I can come support her. So just kind of reframing and rewiring what that distance really looks like. Again, in the burden analogy, just coming in like, hey, can I take some of those bricks off? Instead of, hey, here's some more bricks, like you better do this for me, right? And you're not doing a good job. Bang, snap to the face. Okay. So yeah, like how can I support you? You seem overwhelmed. You seem a little distant. Are you okay? Right? Instead of you seem a little distant, come support me so I don't feel bad, right? Now it's you seem a little distant, like, what's going on? How can I help? How can I support you? You're probably feeling down or overwhelmed, right? So you coming in, yeah, you seem a little bit off. What's going on? How can I help? Instead of, hey, you're not taking care of me, take care of me. So why is this difficult? It's difficult because you have to take care of yourself, right? Like you can't come in really being a good support if you're not feeling internally supported. Okay. So we've talked on this podcast a little about this kind of younger you work. A lot of what happens in marriage comes from our growing up. So like if we didn't feel particularly supported growing up, we kind of look to our wife to do that in different ways. And, we do this in the program, and I'm doing this in my own therapy, but, just kind of looking at those younger versions of ourselves and saying like, okay, like how can I take care of them so they don't feel so needy? So you're like a 5-year-old you isn't coming to your wife like, hey, take care of me like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay, that's not what your wife needs. She doesn't need another 5-year-old. But that 5-year-old you does need help and support. And you yourself, kind of adult, you can take care of that younger you. So like, for example, something I've been doing lately after therapy, I go get a Happy Meal. Why? Because I feel like the younger me would like that. I buy a remote control car, I drive it around. Why? Because I feel like the younger me would like that. And it helps more than you would think. Like it helps a lot. And then I can say, okay, younger me's, you're all taken care of. Great. Yeah. Now let's go support my wife, right? Or have God, like feeling that support from God. Yeah, he's got me, right? I feel empowered. I've got angels with me. Now let's go support my wife, right? Much different than I feel totally drained and alone and I need my wife to help me and she's pulling away and I'm scared, right? She doesn't care. I want her to care. Okay, that whole energy is hard on her, right? It's an extra thing for her to do instead of you coming in as a support, right? Or me coming in as a support. Okay, so why this works, right? You're coming in as a help instead of an extra burden. And guess what? Now she does want you around. Okay. Now maybe she's probably just going through a hard time, right? She's not trying to give you a hard time. She's going through a hard time herself. She could use some support, right? And so when you come in as support, she's going to want you around. So again, coming in with that hug instead of that jab. You find distance, step in, but don't step in with a jab to the nose, right? Step in with a hug, right? So then she starts feeling safer, okay? So why? Because you're coming in secure versus insecure. You're coming in full instead of empty. You're coming in feeling empowered versus not empowered, okay? So first of all, it feels better to you because you're coming in already okay. And so you're not so needy to your wife. Again, it's okay to be needy. We all have needs. But like the younger versions of us, we can help the younger versions of us instead of trying to make our wife do it. Okay. So what do you need to do this? To be able to do this, you actually need quite a bit of skill. You need to be able to feel secure in yourself, which takes some work, right? You need to be able to feel like you can take care of those younger versions of you, that you can have that support from God, that you've got your own back. Okay. Take some work to do that. You need mental and emotional management. You need to look and say, like, is this thought really accurate? Am I really the last on her list? Okay, even like, or is that thought even useful? Is it getting me anywhere useful? Probably not, right? That's one of the big things we work on in the program, catching our thoughts, choosing ones that are more useful. Plus emotional management. I am feeling distant. I am feeling kind of alone. How can I take care of that, right? What's something I could do to take care of that instead of adding additional burden? Now, look, there are times that it's fine, right? It's fine to ask for stuff from your wife. But for this particular case, my particular case, right, being able to come in as support is going to be more useful, right? Same idea that we talk a lot about, seek first to understand. So yeah, seek first support and ask for support, both. But like, being able to take care of yourself emotionally, release emotions, support yourself emotionally, super powerful, right? Now you're not so dependent on your wife. Paradoxically, that's when she's more attracted to you, right? You also need communication skills. Okay, how can I, when she starts telling me everything that's going on, how can I really listen well so she feels supported, all right? And intimacy skills, right? Understanding, really letting her get deep with you, you getting deep with her, right? Being able to give her a hug without trying to turn it into sex when it shouldn't turn into sex, right? These are all skills that we need and you can learn, and you can come into Strong Men, Strong Marriages and do it with us, right? We're Christian guys who are trying to do this and follow Christ and be great supports to our wives when they need it. When we're feeling distant, we want to be able to feel secure and come to our wives as a secure person to help her instead of an insecure person that needs more from her when she's already feeling overwhelmed, okay? So our most recent group is getting going right now. They just joined last week. We're excited to have them, proud of them for taking the step. So come join us at the end of May if this catches your interest. It's just $200 a month. We're looking for 500 guys to join this year. So visit strongmen.io, join our email list. Or if you're a guy that's making around $250,000 or more a year, you want a more intensive experience, fill out an application and we'll talk about kind of some options there as well. So stay strong in God, men, and we will see you next episode.